Welcome back to the bar, family. Tonight we're having a real grown talk about men, sex, discipline, and why access without self-control is not the flex some people think it is.
That's right. A man can be confident, attractive, and know how to get attention, but if he has no discipline, that's not power. It's just appetite in charge.
Absolutely. Spot on.
This topic is not about shaming anybody. This is about being honest about reckless sex, careless choices, and moving with intention instead of impulse. Absolutely. Intention is key.
Because the real question is not just, do I want her? The real question is, do I respect her? Am I being honest? Am I clear? Am I protecting both of us? Casual sex is not always the problem. The problem is when people are careless, deceptive, reckless.
Exactly, that's when it gets messy.
Or using sex to feed ego, cover loneliness, or avoid the truth.
So true.
Real messy for men. That kind of recklessness can come with real consequences. Pregnancy, STIs, emotional mess, confusion, drama, a whole lot of weight from one bad choice.
Grown man wisdom is simple. Just because you can sleep with somebody does not mean you should. Everybody should not have access to your body, your energy, or your peace.
That's the truth.
Amen to that.
A man should choose based on values, honesty, and alignment. Not just looks, not just attention, not just ego. Stop collecting bodies and calling it power.
All right, family, tonight we brought in Coach Brian, a man we lovingly call Coach B, to speak to the men on this subject. Okay, Coach B, the floor is yours.
Thank you both for having me here. Okay, guys, this is a serious matter, so let's talk for a minute. Not as a preacher, not as a coach, just as an older man who's been around and seen enough to know a lot of men confuse access with power. Just because women notice you, text you, smile at you, or leave the door open does not mean you're winning. Sometimes it just means temptation found you available. A lot of men were actually taught that the more women you sleep with, the more man you are. That may sound good when you're young, but life has a way of exposing that kind of foolishness. Look, anybody can chase lust, move off impulse, or let desire drag them around. That's common these days. Why not be rare? Discipline is rare, self-control is rare, and using your discernment is rare. So let's keep it plain. We're talking about sexual recklessness, promiscuity, and what it means to be intentional about who you lay down with. And that means a man's strength should not just be measured by what he can pull. It should also be measured by what he can walk away from. If every woman that looks good to you can get your body, your time, your attention, your money, or your emotions, then you're not in control. You're just easy to pull. A reckless man may feel powerful in the moment, but weak in the long run, because now he has to deal with everything that came attached to that choice. Sex comes with consequences, memories, attachments, expectations, and sometimes lifelong responsibility. Grown men need to stop acting like this don't mean nothing. Some of y'all are not even horny. You empty. Some of y'all are not powerful. You trying to prove something. Some of y'all are using bodies to cover wounds you never healed. All because nobody told y'all that recklessness costs. It can cost your peace because now your phone is full of tension, your mind is scattered, and your days stay heavy. It can cost your reputation too. Women talk, people watch, and patterns tell on you. A man who leaves confusion everywhere will become known for confusion. Let's see, peace, reputation, and it can cost your focus. You say you want to build, save, grow, and level up, but your decisions keep dragging chaos into your life. It can cost your money too. Impulse spending, child support, legal trouble, and trying to clean up messy choices all hit different once you realize one reckless night can become a lifelong bill. We not gonna even act like we about to dance around the fact. It can cost you your health too. Reckless sex puts you at risk, and way too many men move like protection is optional.
You're right. Men who are reckless can suffer real consequences, like emotional entanglement, unwanted pregnancy, STIs, and confusion when intentions are not clear from the beginning.
Exactly. And it can wear you down spiritually and mentally. The more careless you get, the more numb you become. When you become numb, it's harder to see clearly.
Reckless men normalize dysfunction. They call confusion excitement, lust connection, and bad decisions a lifestyle instead of a warning sign. Man promiscuity gives you false pride. Y'all really think your value is in how many women want you or how many you can take down. But be honest, are you this person in private? If you're really that person, that's weak, because that kind of pride always needs more women and more validation. And guys, that's not confidence. That's hunger for more attention. These men have to use deception. A reckless man will start lying to keep doors open. He will say what sounds good, make empty promises, and leave confusion behind. So man to man, I'm gonna say it again, that's weak. Using a woman's hope or emotions to get access is not player behavior. It's manipulative punk behavior. And I'm saying this because some men keep doing it because nobody ever checked them. Some people hyped it up, cheered it on, or laughed about it, but it's not funny when it gets messy. A man who keeps moving carelessly will eventually hit consequences he can't charm his way out of. Now listen, I didn't come here to warn or lecture you. I came to tell you what real power looks like, in case you didn't get it from a solid man in your life. The real power is being intentional with your body and your choices, what I refer to as your picker and your pecker. Develop some standards and stop entertaining what feels good in the moment. An intentional man not only asks himself, is she attractive? He asks, is this wise? Is she somebody I can build with? And is this aligned with how I want to live? He also checks himself by asking, am I lonely? Am I trying to prove I still got it? And am I being honest about what I really want?
That's deep.
Because maturity is not just examining her. Maturity is examining yourself too. Sometimes the danger is not the woman. Sometimes the danger is your own state of mind. Consider this. One great benefit of being intentional is peace. You sleep better when your life is not full of drama, hidden fires, and loose ends.
So true.
Exactly. Another benefit is self-respect. There's something solid about knowing you're not being led around by every urge that comes knocking. Who told you men don't need to respect themselves? Then there's clarity. When you stop entertaining any and everybody, you can actually recognize who's good for you. Too many men miss quality because they're addicted to quantity. Intentional men protect their future. They understand one night can turn into years of responsibility with a woman they never intended to build with, and now everybody is stuck dealing with the weight of that choice.
So true.
Plain and simple, some men sleep with women they never respected or ever saw a future with. Then a child comes into it, and now they feel trapped and obligated instead of accountable. And some men act like the child don't exist because they don't want to deal with the woman. But that child didn't ask to be here, and disappearing don't make you free. It makes you irresponsible. That's why discipline matters before the sex, not after. Because once a child's involved, this is no longer about your urges, your freedom, or your convenience. Now another life is tied to your choices. So no, it's not just about chemistry. This is about wisdom. This is about asking yourself if this woman is somebody you want to be forever connected to, if your life took a turn you weren't planning on. And being intentional doesn't make you weak. It makes you responsible. It means your masculinity is not built on chaos. A lot of you men need to hear this. Saying no sometime, walking away, and slowing down is powerful. Not every open door is for you. Because intentional men also understand timing. Just because she's available doesn't mean this is the season for that connection.
Absolutely. Timing is everything.
Don't invite her into confusion just because she feels good in the moment. Get yourself together first, because a woman's not rehab for a man who refuses to do the work. Doing the work means understanding honesty. If you only want something casual, say that. If you want something serious, say that. Or if you're emotionally unavailable, say that too. Man, be honest. It saves pain, confusion, and drama. It builds integrity, and integrity will carry you farther than charm or smooth words ever will. Game might open the door, but character gives you longevity. Intentional men move with consent, respect, and protection. That should be basic, but since some men were never taught right, let me say it plain. First of all, you don't just protect yourself. You protect her emotionally too by being clear. Don't lead her on, don't share fake goals, and stop selling dreams you don't mean. Once you know your words can open people up, you're responsible for how you use them. Stop using emotional manipulation to get physical access, because that often backfires.
That's a powerful point. Absolutely.
Listen, fellas, let me give you some wisdom. You're not a slave to your urges. You're not stuck in your old patterns. You're not only as good as your last bad decision. You can rise above all of that. A man can change his standards at any age. I don't care what your past looked like. You can tighten up starting now, and it's as simple as changing your mindset. You can decide your body is sacred and everybody shouldn't have access to it. Your time is too valuable for confusion, and you're too intentional to gamble with your life. You can become the kind of man who values substance over stimulation, who's not moved by every compliment, sexy curves, or every late night text, because intentional men have standards. When you honor yourself, that's not performing, collecting stories, or chasing applause. You're building a life that won't collapse because you lack discipline in private. That's grown man energy. A lot of men act reckless because they're trying to fill a hole with pleasure. But men, please believe me when I say pleasure don't fix brokenness or low self-worth.
That's right. Absolutely.
But stop using women. That kind of work has to happen in private alone. With honesty, healing, reflection, and accountability, you have to face what's driving you to be reckless.
You tell people you have freedom when you're really avoiding the truth. Recklessness is not manhood, it's impulse. Intentional man has discipline, character, and emotional maturity.
The real flex is having control over yourself. Real masculinity is being trustworthy with desire. And maturity is knowing everything that feels good is not good for you. So brothers, we have to raise the standard for what we celebrate. Stop praising reckless behavior like it's power. Real strength is restraint, honesty, respect, and moving with clean intentions. Because the man with peace is winning. The man who can build, protect, love, and stay disciplined is the one really winning. That's not weakness. That's grown man power. If you've been reckless, own it. Learn from it and let that season end. Before every sexual decision, ask yourself, what does this add to my life? What can this cost me? And if a child came from this, could I stand in it? Those questions alone can save you years of regret, resentment, and damage. That's how intentional men move. They think past the moment and they don't make permanent consequences out of temporary desire. So man to man, I'll leave you with this. Stop giving the powerful parts of yourself to weak situations. Your peace matters, your future matters, your name matters. Protect all three like a grown man should.
Coach B, we want to thank you for pulling up today and giving your honest thoughts on this topic. You brought clarity, accountability, and grown man wisdom to the conversation. Thank you for being here with us today, family. Comment, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next Sunday right here at the bar.
Are you stressed, overwhelmed? Life got you down and feeling strange. Then ditch the drama and come thirsty for change. Meet me at the bar with your issues. Meet me at the bar with your issues. That's right, you're invited to the bar, so pull up a chair and get ready to pour out your heart to Coach Ree and Coach V. Yeah, Coach Ree and Coach V, the dynamic duo. They're ready to shake up your perspective about love, life, or money. That's right, they'll help you, honey, get to the root of it all. Get ready for real talk, real solutions, and